Unfortunately, this is not what the Ninth Circuit panel found. Stephen Duarte, who has 5 prior nonviolent state criminal convictions, all punishable for more than a year, was charged and convicted under Section 922G1 after police saw him toss a handgun out of the window of a moving car. It doesn't sound like Mr. Duarte is a very nice man. 5 times he's been convicted of nonviolent crimes punishable by more than a year in prison. Now, like anyone else, though, Mr. Duarte's rights should be protected, and we, as a people, should do all we can to ensure that. Duarte now challenges the constitutionality of his conviction. He argues that, under the Supreme Court's recent decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen, Section 922G1 violates the Second Amendment as applied to him, a nonviolent offender who has served his time in prison and re-entered society. We agree. Notice, Mr. Duarte isn't challenging his conviction because it violates the Second, Fifth, and possibly the Eighth Amendments to the Constitution, but because it violates the Supreme Court's decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen, which says it violates the Second Amendment. Not surprisingly, the federal government disagrees with Mr. Duarte. We reject the government positions that our pre-Bruen decision in the United States v. Vonci forecloses Duarte's Second Amendment challenge. Vonci is clearly irreconcilable with Bruen and therefore no longer controls because Vonci held that Section 922G1 comported with the Second Amendment without applying the mode of analysis that Bruen later established and now requires courts to perform. Again, the court doesn't find for Mr. Duarte because of what the Constitution says, but because of what the Supreme Court said. This may explain the dissenting opinion. Judge M. Smith dissented. He wrote that until an intervening higher authority that is clearly irreconcilable with Vonci is handed down, a 3-judge panel is bound by that decision. In Judge Smith's opinion, until the Supreme Court, the only real intervening higher authority in the judicial branch, says that Bruen or some other decision specifically overturns Vonci, the court has to follow it. Apparently, his oath to support the Constitution of the United States isn't high enough an authority to intervene over their previous decision.